Hi, this is Anil from Learning Lad and welcome back to the tutorial on C programming language. And in this video, I'm going to show you guys how you can individually print the characters of a string value. For some of you guys, this program may seem pretty basic, but I got some requests about this tutorial. Guys are asking me to make a tutorial on this topic, and that's why I'm here. So here what exactly we are doing is we are asking the user to enter a string value, and then we're gonna store that string value in a character array, and from that character array we're gonna display all the characters of that string separately. So here, for example, let's say we have this character array called input, and we have the string learning lad in that character array input. Now, if you know that since we are using arrays here, this input is a character array, and that's why the array index is gonna start from 0. So the first character of the string which we're gonna be storing in this input array, in this case it is the learning lad, and the first character is L, is stored at the index 0, and the second character will be at the index 1, and similarly all these characters are stored in this input array. So now, after storing the string value, a special character called the string termination character is added automatically at the end of the string, and this string termination character will indicate that okay, that's gonna be the end of the string. So here in this image, you guys can see that in this position, or the index 11, in this index 11 where we are storing this string termination character. So this character will specify that okay, this is gonna be the end of this string learning lad. All right, now here in this tutorial what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna start from this array index 0, and we're gonna print out the individual characters until we reach this string termination character. So we're gonna be using a for loop for this purpose. And once we're gonna reach this string termination character, we're gonna stop executing the for loop. So now let's see how we can write a program on this topic. So here, the first thing that we need to do is we need to declare the variables that we're gonna use in this program. So the first variable is gonna be a character array, and I'm gonna call it as input. And I'm also going to specify the size for this character array, and let's say it's going to be 100. Now in this character array input, we're going to store the string value entered by the user. So here for this input we have the size 100, which means we can store a string value which can contain a maximum of 99 characters. Now that one more space will be used for storing the string termination character. So now another variable that we're gonna need in this program is gonna be of type integers, and I'm gonna call it as index. We're gonna be using this variable with the for loop, and this variable will contain the position of the characters in the array. So now after declaring the variables which you're gonna be using in this program, what we're gonna do is we're gonna ask the user to enter the string value as an input. So I'm gonna use a printf function, and I'm gonna ask the user to enter the value. So I'm gonna say enter the string value. All right, then we're gonna add a new line here, and then we're gonna read the input which the user is gonna enter, and we're gonna store that in this input array. So I'm gonna use the getAs function for this purpose, and this getAs function is used to read some string values and store it in the memory. So here we want to store the value entered by the user in this input array. So it's gonna be input. Alright, now the last thing that we want to do is we want to print out the values of this input array, or in other words, we want to print out the individual characters of the string entered by the user. So we're gonna be using a for loop here. So it's gonna be for, and now here what happens is when the user is going to enter a string value, we are storing that in this input array. So the first character entered by the user will be stored at the very beginning of this input array, which is going to be at the index 0. So we want to start printing the characters from the index 0. So I'm going to initialize our index variable with the value of 0, and then we want to print out the characters until we reach the string termination character. And as I told you before, the string termination character is used to indicate the end of the string. So we want to print out the characters until we reach string termination character. So now how are we gonna check out whether we have reached this string termination character or not? So we can check it out by checking the value stored at the position which is specified in this index variable on this input array. So it's gonna be input at the index specified by this index variable. If it is not equal to the string termination character, then we want to execute this for loop and we want to print out that character. If the position specified by this index variable in this input array is containing the string termination character, then we're gonna come out of this for loop, because if we read the string termination character, it means that we have successfully processed all the string values. So here we want to execute this for loop until this condition is gonna satisfy. So after this, we want to increment the value of this index variable. That's because, first we want to check out the value in the first location, in the index 0, whether the index 0 is containing the string termination character. If it is containing the string termination character, then we want to stop. If it is not containing the string termination character, then we want to print that character. So once we do that, then we want to move on to the next position. So we're going to be incrementing the value of this index variable so that it can point to the next location. All right, now we're going to have this for loop body, and here we're going to be printing the value pointed by this index variable on this input array. So I'm going to use a printf function, and now we're going to be printing the characters. So we're going to use the format specifier %c, and then we need to specify the character that we want to print, which will be stored in the input array at the index pointed by this index variable. So after printing out the character, I want to add a new line so that we can properly verify the output. And I'm just gonna add this new line by using this printf statement after this. All right, now after this for loop, I just want to have another printf statement, and here I'm just gonna print out done, just to indicate that we have successfully processed the string. So I'm gonna save this and I'm gonna build and run this program now. Now it's gonna ask us to enter the string value. I'm gonna enter learning lad, and then I'm gonna hit the enter button in my keyboard, and you guys can see learning lad, we have successfully printed out the individual characters of the string which I have entered. And then after printing out all the characters, we are displaying done. So I'm gonna run this program again. So it's gonna be build and run again, and this time I'm gonna enter Anil Shetty, and then I'm gonna hit the enter button in my keyboard, and now you guys can see ANIL space SHATTY, and then we have done. So this is how you guys can successfully print out the individual characters of a string value entered by the user. So if you guys think that you guys have learned something from this tutorial, then please like this video and share it with your friends and subscribe to our channel. And also you guys can contact us on Facebook at facebook.com/learninglad, and also you guys can tweet us on Twitter at learningladedu. And once again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.